this is Tia at One Scrap at a Time, and today I'm going to show you how to make 2 more flowers using the Cricut Flower Shoppe Cartridge. The first flower I'm going to do is this one here. I'm using vellum, and I used the Flower Shoppe Ruffle 4 and I cut it out at 3 of them at 3 inches. I did 3 of them at 2 inches and 3 of them at 1.5 inch. And then for the leaves, I did, let's get to the leaves. I did this one here, which is the Ruffle 5, and I made 3 of those at 2 inches. So let me show you what I did. So first thing that I did using a bark ink stamp is I inked all of the edges of my petals. Just like that. Then starting with the largest, and on this I only inked one side, so starting with the largest I stacked them. You can see here that I tore my vellum, but it's not going to matter once you get this whole thing put together. So just start stacking them from biggest to smallest, and making sure that those little holes pop out. Okay, take any type of a brad. I'm using one here that has a jewel on the end, and just run it all the way through. And then close that up. Next thing you're going to do, and this is the fun part, is you're just going to take one layer at a time, bring it up and crunch it. Take your next layers, bring them up and crunch. Take your next layers, bring them up and crunch. And then down here you want to do the same thing, just crunch. Just giving an extremely distressed look. And then flatten it back out. And then just kind of play with your leaves to give it the look that you want. Sometimes I just go in on some of them that didn't crunch as well and pinch them and kind of separate them so I have some depth. Okay. I wish you could see this in person. It really looks amazing. I want these to be a little bit more crunched here. Okay, then what I did is with my leaves is I just folded them in half, took my bark, went down the center, and now I'm doing the edges. Then comes the fun part. Just take it between your fingers and go back and forth, twisting. Okay, so then you want to take some glue of your choice, and I think for this I would probably use glue dots to hold this on really well. And then just place your leaves like this. And there you have a beautiful vellum flower. What I like about this is after it's put together, the bark really looks more peachy with that translucent. So that's the first flower. Now using the same concept, I'm going to show you a second flower. This one I call my carnation. And I this time cut out 8 petals, and let me show you which one I used for this one. So I used the ruffle 2. It's on the same page as the ruffle 4 that we did with the last. And I cut out 8 of these at 3 inches. And then for my leaf, I used the Mum 5, and I cut out 3 of them at 2 inches. Then what I did is I used a pink that I had, and I inked both sides of my edges. Okay. Then I took a brad and I did the same thing. I loaded them all up on my brad. Easier said than done sometimes, huh? Okay, close this up. Now you're going to need some type of a spray bottle with water in it. Let's get that really super flat. So what you're going to do is just start with the top. Spray it with your water and then bring it up and crunch it together. Do your second layer. Bring it up. Oops, I got 2 layers going on here. And crunch. And be sure that you get it really tight at the base so all those layers have some place to go. Spray the next. And I am using a pretty heavy smooth cardstock for this. I think I used a Basil or a Whirlwind. I'm not really sure, but you don't want it to be too thin, or when you do this your paper could easily just tear. So keep let's use some of this water down here and soak it up. Okay, oops, my brad fell off. I guess I didn't close it very well. Let's do that again. Okay. Do you see it starting to take the look of a carnation? The hardest part is getting these separated. Last 2 layers. So let's give it a nice spray and keep bringing them up. I think my bottom one's pretty wet from sitting on the table. Okay, so now what you want to do is after you get them all nice and crumbled is now you're going to pull them apart and shape it the way that you like it. Okay, then what I did, let me clean up some of this excess water. Then what I did is I took some stickles, because if you know anything about me, anything with stickle, everything makes, or I should say, wait, let me think. everything looks better with stickles. And I just went around my edges and gave it some shine. Not necessarily needed, I just wanted a little extra pop. And I think these would be beautiful in yellows and purples and any color that you would see carnations in. You know, nowadays they dye a carnation almost any color. Well, I guess they've always done that. Orange. Okay, so now that I've got that done, let's do the leaves. So I did the leaves by folding it down the middle. Taking my bark ink, and then just giving it, playing with it. Okay, then you're going to take these and put two of them together, stick them under there, take the third one and stick it under there. And there you have the carnation. And here's the flower we did earlier. Well, okay, let me put my leaves back under there since I haven't glued them on yet. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and if you make some of your own, I'd love to see them. Thanks. Bye.